Brothers and sisters are likely to have the longest lasting relationship with that family member who has special needs. They'll certainly be in the life of that person longer than any service provider will. But they'll probably be in the life of that person longer than even the parents will. So sibling issues are lifespan issues.
My favorite thing that I like to do with Nate is wrestle around and just sit around with him and watch TV.
We like to play tackle in the living room, and we like to snuggle sometimes, and also we like to read together.
I'd have to say it's skiing with my brother.
My favorite thing is playing puzzles with him. He's really good at it.
We like to play games with Holly. Holly's favorite thing to do is card games. We like taking her to the movies.
We also like playing the Nintendo Wii with her.
Brothers and sisters are going to have a greater impact on the social development of that child with special needs than any classmate ever will. So we think brothers and sisters are too important to ignore. The Sibling Support Project is a national project dedicated to the lifelong concerns of brothers and sisters of people with special health, developmental, and mental health concerns. The longer I work with SIBS, the more convinced I am that they have at least as many opportunities as they have concerns. Indeed, some of the most caring, some of the most compassionate, some of the most thoughtful people walking the face of this planet are brothers and sisters of folks with special needs.
He made us see life very different than other people, I think.
It just gives you like, you know, better perspective on life, and, you know, like how sad the world can be sometimes, and but also how the good in the world.
You can just enjoy some of the simple things in life a little bit more. But yeah, definitely.
Having a sibling with special needs has always been good for me because it just makes me feel really good to be able to take care of him and just be independent with teaching him all the stuff he knows.
The best part is sometimes in Disneyland, with the handicap pass, we can skip to the front of the line with a hop, skip, and a jump.
The best part about having a brother with a disability, from my point of view, would have to be perspective. It really makes you think about what's important, what challenges matter, what really matters in life.
It made me think of like what I really believe in. It made me become very patient. It made me become like the life I have to be appreciated.
When he talks to me, it just it feels really different than just having a brother who can really like talk with real words. Like it kind of feels like you're different, like you're kind of a unique brother.
Well, we see a lot of unique opportunities that SIBS have, and there's some unique concerns.
You know, it's hard sometimes getting others to understand what his disability is and how to relate to him. You want people to see him for who he is and the way that you see him.
Because some people give you really rude reaction or give rude statements or say things that are kind of insensitive here and there. So
Yeah, you really start seeing like the evil in people. Like they just, for no reason, like will just judge them, not even give them a chance and stuff.
The worst part is probably when he gets all the attention and I am like either like ignored or basically I have 5% of the attention.
There might be a jealousy or resentment when the whole world seems to be revolving around this one kid who has special needs, and from a sibling's point of view, it might be, it's Jeremy this, Jeremy that. It's the United States of Jeremy, and I think they'd much rather have a situation where a person was not the sun in the family solar system.
He screams a lot, and it kind of gets irritating after a while. So I think that's the least favorite part of having a brother with special needs.
My friends sometimes are like, oh, he's so cute. But sometimes they think he's annoying when he gets super annoying and like starts getting my mom to come get us once we lock him out. And so that kind of gets on our nerves.
I think for kids who are going through that stage, I think one of the things that can be helpful is to, if needed, give those kids some space. So if they want to walk on the other side of the mall and pretend they don't know you, let them. And hope and pray and have faith that given that kind of space, that they will reintegrate their brothers and sisters back into their social circle. But they also need to know that there are other SIBs out there. And that's what SIB shops are all about. It's our attempt to provide young brothers and sisters with the same kind of common sense peer support that parents get from a parent-to-parent program or a good parent support group.
Sib Shops is a fun place where you learn about other people's Sibs and you have play games and stuff like that.
You can also go to Sib Shops if you want to learn, if you want to meet other people that have brothers with special needs. So it's like a whole group of people that can kind of just understand what you're going through. And that's really the main point of Sib Shops.
We're going to play Giant Knots. What we're trying to do with SIB Shops is to give young SIBs a chance to meet other brothers and sisters and have some fun, play some goofy games, talk about the good parts and maybe sometimes not so good parts of having a SIB with special needs with other kids who get it. So it's peer support and information within a highly recreational context.
This is a really good friend I have. His name is Jackson. He's one of my best friends. He's the one that has the other brother with a special need named Kobe.
We have lots of things in common. We both like video games, and we both have the same trouble with our brothers because my brother yells, his brother yells.
I know quite a few people who have siblings with disabilities.
You do? How does that help?
Well, it helps understand it helps us understand each other and such like that.
You kind of actually like understand each other more. Like you definitely you know where each other's coming from more than like someone else who doesn't have a sibling. And you just kind of like learn more from them, I guess.
I don't know if it was a different time in our civil rights history or what it really was, but I never really grew up knowing anybody else who had a sibling with a disability. Do I look to spend time with other siblings? I certainly would love to. I actually almost get a little jealous of all the support that's out there for parents and for families and how to deal with a child with a disability.
Where do SIBs get information? Well, if they're lucky, they get it from their parents.
When I was growing up, I was a kid. I didn't really understand it very well. I was confused as a kid, so it was difficult to really know how to really integrate my brother with my friends and what that all meant together.
I wish I had been exposed to disability younger because I don't remember exactly where I had problems or where I knew exactly what was happening with my brother. I didn't have that.
And parents certainly need to be proactive in providing their kids with information about their SIB's disability and its treatment. The way you convey that information to kids is best done in, I think, a very informal sort of way. Let them know that this is always a tuck you in before you go to bed kind of conversation that you have, and to keep it an open topic and don't hide it.
In looking back, if there was one thing that I could say to other parents about that is really get the siblings involved early and help them understand what it is, what the disability is all about and what that future looks like for yourself, for the siblings, so that they can start to grow up with this idea of how they can participate and share in that responsibility in the future.
To the extent to which families can normalize the disability, I think the better it will be for everybody. You know, and you can talk in terms of like, you know, yeah, daddy's got, you know, flat feet and mom's got bunions and, you know, and grandma's, you know, her eyesight is failing her and, oh yeah, and Tim has Down syndrome and, you know, Mike has autism. You know, it's just, everybody's got something going on. That just happens to be what he has.
Has Down syndrome and he has a tracheoesophageal fistula, which means his esophagus wasn't connected with his stomach at birth.
We don't really have a name for it, but we usually call it autism.
Sal, his disability is generically classified as multiple disabilities or multiple handicaps. It doesn't really have a name like autism or Down syndrome. It's really just a part of who Sal is.
In little kids, their understanding of disabilities will represent differences in routine and behavior. So for a 4-year-old, their working definition of, say, cerebral palsy might be, cerebral palsy means that the lady comes to your house with the big ball and you roll on it and you learn how to walk. Or autism might mean you like Thomas the Tank Engine a lot, and you don't look people in the eye, and you like to line your cars up in a straight row. And that's fine for a 4 or 5-year-old, because it gives them something to build on when they get a little bit older and they need some other additional information.
And the best part of having a sister with a disability is it gives you a different perspective in life. I don't really like to think of it as a disability, but more like she has something extra instead of something missing. She has a great sense of humor, and there's always a lot of laughs.
Having him as a brother and the way he does things and the way we do things with him has made us be patient and be just who we are. And we're just so grateful. I think all my family are so just grateful of having him.
The single strongest factor influencing a sibling's interpretation of their brother or sister's disability will be, guess what? The parent's interpretation of the disability. So if the parents perceive it as being this life-searing tragedy from which there's no escape, well, they shouldn't be too surprised if their typically developing kids perceive it that way as well. On the other hand, if they perceive it as being a series of challenges that they have little choice but to meet with as much grace and humor as they can possibly muster, they have every reason to believe that their typically developing kids will perceive it that way as well.
This morning while I was playing on my DS, he ran into my mom's room while she was taking a shower, and he stole some of her candy. Apparently he was hiding under my parents' covers eating a Twix bar.
You know, if there's one thing I had to choose about Nate that was different, it would probably be that he couldn't scream as much. But I like almost everything about him, and I really don't want him to change.
People are always like, oh, that must be so hard, but it's really not hard. It's just like having a sister and stuff.
Well, he always makes me like smile, and he makes me happy and stuff like that. And he brings out the best in me sometimes.
I think it's changed me as a person, but like, if I had a normal brother that could talk and just talk to me and do normal conversations, I would just be able to talk with him and do that stuff. But since I do have a brother with special needs that can't actually talk to me, I have to teach him stuff. And those are two whole different things. And I think I like having a brother with special needs a lot more than I would to have a brother to talk to.